is the 14th day of April, the year 2024, and you're right on time for the weekly Informer right here on Instant Television. Our reporters have been up and about to bring you the latest that has been happening during the week, and these are our top stories.
Kenyatta University holds its 2024 annual Interfaith Thanksgiving Prayer Service, graced by Her Excellency Pastor Dorcas Rigathi. Surrender and walk away. President William Ruto issues stern warning to public servants with fake credentials. Last, a man sets himself on fire outside Trump's harsh money trial courthouse. And in sports, 10-man Gor Mahia beats AFC Leopards 1-0 in Mashemeji Derby showdown.
Kenyatta University hosted its 2024 annual Interfaith Thanksgiving Prayer Service, marking a significant event in its cultural calendar. Held on Sunday 14th at the institution amphitheater and graced by Her Excellency Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, the event saw a convergence of faith under the theme "Unshaken Confidence in the Lord." Our very own Duongo Wamboi attended the service and prepared this report.
The Kenyatta University's amphitheater was filled with an atmosphere of reverence and unity as students, staff, and invited guests gathered for the 2024 Interfaith Thanksgiving Prayer Service. The service featured prayers and reflections from representatives of various religion denominations, highlighting the university's commitment to inclusivity and diversity. In her address, Her Excellency Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, who graced the occasion as chief guest, emphasized the importance of faith in overcoming challenges and fostering unity within the community.
What forms you, the DNA that runs in you, can never be denied. And both the Muslim faith and the Christian faith, we have undeniable origin. We have God who is our Father.
Led by the Vice Chancellor Professor Paul Wainaina, the Kenyatta University's administration took this opportunity to elaborate on the university's achievements in the 2023-2024 academic year.
We are glad that our academic programs in different modes have run smoothly both the first and second semesters.
As a university, as large a community as we are, under the wise leadership of the Vice Chancellor, we have been able to pull through together.
The service also provided an opportunity to remember the 11 students who lost their lives in the last month's accident at Maungu, wishing a speedy recovery to the injured, with the 17 of them being discharged and one still at hospital in a critical condition at ICU.
We are staying strong for those who have been hurt, and more particularly, ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman that is in hospital. We must not be carried away by the luck that we have gotten, particularly after the burials, that we still have one of us, and we must pay him that deserving attention.
We are more than conquerors through him who loved us. These words resonate deeply with us, offering comfort and courage as we navigate the turbulent waters of life.
The culture of Kenyatta University stands preserved as the Interfaith Thanksgiving Prayer Service is organized every year, uniting the entire university community for prayers, marking the end of an academic year. Duongo Wamboi, Instant TV, KU.
Moving on, Kenyatta University commemorated its 14th Disability Awareness Day earlier this week under the theme Inclusive Education for Economic Success. During the event, students with disabilities were encouraged to work hard in their academics as well as develop their skills and talents for better employment prospects. Our very own Mombi Wainaina now reports.
The Kenyatta University's 14th Disability Awareness Day took place today, bringing together various stakeholders in matters education, employment and even advocacy on rights to persons with disabilities under the theme Inclusive Education for Economic Success.
Siku hii ni siku ya kutoa fursa kwetu sote ya kwamba tunastahili kuwa hapa ili tupate fursa murwa na suluhu ya kudumu katika kushirikiana na kushikamana.
Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research and Innovation at Kenyatta University, Professor Caroline Dhorua, who spoke on behalf of the Kenyatta University Vice Chancellor, Professor Paul Wainaina, pointed out that the institution is putting efforts to ensure that students with disabilities get quality education.
It's a stark reminder that we have urgent work to do, and now, more than ever before, the university's continued commitment to inclusive higher education is required in order to fulfill the promise enshrined in one of our core values, creating an inclusive society.
Masimogure, a board member of the National Council of Persons with Disabilities, pointed out that it is important for disabled persons to know their rights.
It is our responsibility for us to know what policies are there for us, to know what our rights.
At the same time, students with disabilities have been encouraged to embrace their skills as it will enable them secure job opportunities in the country despite of their physical appearances.
If all what you present is, on your CV, I have a disability, it is not enough. I am challenging us, the students, make best use of the time that you have here. Utilize it, make yourself marketable.
Disability will help you where it is clear that you have the abilities. You don't have to say, I'm this, help me. Just say what you can do.
Kenyatta University has been mentioned as one of the best institutions which caters for students with disabilities.
The government of Kenya, led by President William Ruto, is cracking down on public sector employees who have secured their job using fake credentials. Speaking during the third National Wage Bill Conference 2024 convened by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission in partnership with Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee and Council of Governors, the President vowed to purge fake public servants from the government's ranks and demanding that they repay any ill-gotten gains. Our political and current affairs reporter Lynette Minor brings us the latest from Bomas of Kenya.
In a bid to slash the nation's swelling wage bill from its current 46% to a proposed 35% by 2028, President William Ruto has issued a stern warning to public servants who falsify their qualifications, sending a clear signal that their days are numbered.
Those who have fake certificates working for government at any level, please surrender and walk away, because it will not be business as usual as we go into the future. It is impunity of the highest level for any person to walk into a government office knowing very well that they have a fake certificate and actually get a job.
While echoing Ruto's sentiment, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua asserted that it is time for the government to root out public servants who have obtained positions through deceit, ending the perpetual nightmare once and for all.
If we make a decision to get rid of all the fellows and characters with fake certificates, probably we could knock 10,000 people from the wage bill and recover $1 billion or $2 billion. But Your Excellency, hiyo kibarua ni ngumu. Sijui utaanzia wapi kwa sababu sioni mtu mwingine akiwezana naye.
Former Chief Justice David Maraga also emphasized that effective leadership committed to serving the people is crucial to achieving the 35% reduction target.
We need political will. Political will at both levels of government to move quite a number of things. And with the His Excellency at the helm and in front, and the governors following suit, I can't see why we cannot achieve or get near achieving what we require to do.
While addressing the challenges in balancing national revenue in salary payments for public servants, the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, led by Chairperson Lynn Mengich, identified the misappropriation of public resources as a significant hindrance.
Your Excellency, you requested that we add resolution number 10. But since it is these delegates who passed that resolution, I'll ask them to give me the yes to add a resolution on fake certificates. Can we add that? So, Your Excellency, we shall add that resolution because that is what the delegates have all agreed.
And as the third National Wage Bill Conference comes to an end, government officials have been urged to prioritize their responsibilities to citizens rather than seeking popularity. Lynette Maina for Instat Television, Bomas of Kenya.
And moving forward, in a graduation ceremony aimed at empowering young men, individuals recovering from drug addiction in Thika's Kiandutu slums were presented with barber shaving machines and certificates. The initiative, spearheaded by the community-based organization Eden Center, operating within the Kiandutu slums, has guided more than 30 teenagers through a 3-month program of training and rehabilitation. Festa Zirongo now reports.
To aid their fresh start after battling with drugs, alcohol, and illegal activities, over 30 young individuals who had struggled with addiction gathered for graduation ceremony, where they were provided support in the form of barber shaving machines. Joseph Mwangangi, a young father of one, highlighted the grim reality of life in the slums, where many boys fall into the trap of addiction to hard drugs, illicit liquor, and other related vices.
Venye nimepewa, nikienda pahali nitaenda nifungue kinyozi na nianze kunyoa. Nikinyoa nayo ikiwa moja, kesho nitajibaia ingine.
Nimepea shukrani watu huyo mwenye amenipea hii zawadi. Nikienda niweke hata kama ni place nikomboe, niweke hii kosi yangu nianze kunyoa wasee. Si hata nitapata kitu ya kuingiza kwa nyumba.
Mimi ni mlemavu. Nilikuwa naenda kuombaomba huko town. Sasa nashukuru Madam Eunice ametusaidia na mashini, sabuni na cheti. Sasa ningeshukuru Mungu, sasa sitakuwa naenda kuombaomba, nitafanya kazi yangu, nipate riziki yangu.
He expressed concerns that leaders and organizations have neglected the need of the boy child, focusing more on empowering the girl child. He further urged the government to consider empowering the boy child through sports, entrepreneurship, and vocational training.
Sisi mimi ni ati niende nisake pesa, nijue venye nitaona. Na kusaka pesa, ulikuwa unauza miadarati ama unakuwa mwizi. Tumepoteza vijana wengi mandugu zetu. Tena tunafanya jera hiyo ni kama makao kwetu. Hiyo ni kazi gani? Si ati heri serikali tusaidie. Ituinulie hawa vijana. Kama ni talanta, watoto vijana wako nayo.
Eunice Mwangi, the CEO of Eden Center, explained that her organization has implemented recovery and rehabilitation programs tailored to the most affected youths, equipping them with skills to kickstart their lives. Eunice Mwangi, the CEO of Eden Center, explained that her organization has implemented recovery and rehabilitation programs tailored to the most affected youths, equipping them with skills to kickstart their lives. She stressed the dire situation many young boys face in the slums, trapped in poverty and driven to substance abuse.
Tunaona Girl Child akona organization mingi sana imemshakalia, lakini Boy Child kwa slum ya Kiadutu isipokuwa ni Eden Center hakuna ingine inawashikilia.
And as the graduation ceremony marking a new phase for recovering drug addicts in Thika comes to an end, elected leaders are now called upon to intervene and steer youths away from vices by presenting viable alternatives for earning a living.
And beyond Kenya borders, United Nations Secretary General and other world leaders have called for restraint in the Middle East after what's believed to be an Israeli attack on Iran overnight. US officials say Israel was responsible for a missile attack, but the specifics are not clear. In public, Israel has not even confirmed about these attacks.
Iranians chanted death to Israel in Tehran on Friday, hours after an apparent Israeli drone strike near the central city of Isfahan. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken declined to confirm whether Israel told Washington in advance.
I'm not going to speak to that, except to say that the United States has not been involved in any offensive operations. Our focus has been on, of course, making sure that Israel can effectively defend itself, but also de-escalating tensions.
Israel's attack on Isfahan was expected, and the United States is likely to have known in advance.
The Biden administration understands that Israel needs to do its own version of face-saving retaliation after Iran's unprecedented and dramatic attacks last Saturday, in the same way that Israel understands Iran's own need to do face-saving strikes after the targeting of the embassy in Damascus earlier this month.
Iran launched hundreds of drones and missiles at Israel on April 13th. The attack showed the country's power, said Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi Friday, without mentioning Israel's counterattack.
Striking Israel was necessary, obligatory, unifying, and a source of pride and power for our great country.
Nearly all of Iran's drones and missiles were intercepted with the help of the United States, the UK, and Jordan, causing no loss of life and little damage. Israel's attacks on Iran also appear to be limited, with no casualties immediately reported. World leaders say enough
is absolutely necessary, that the region stays stable and that all sides refrain from further action.
Both sides appear willing to avoid further escalation, at least for now.
Maybe what will happen in the next phase is that Iran and then Israel will go back to what has been their shadow war, which is attacks through terror attacks, proxy groups, and also assassinations that Israel has conducted against nuclear scientists. So I think that's probably the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that it becomes an open conflagration, one that draws in Hezbollah in Lebanon.
The back-and-forth fire further inflames a region already on edge over Israel's war against Hamas, an Iran proxy in Gaza. Biden has been unsuccessful in pushing for a ceasefire deal. Over the weekend, Hamas raised new demands, throwing talks into disarray.
Moving forward, a shocking and tragic incident unfolded outside the Manhattan courthouse, where the former President Trump's hush money trial was underway. Maxwell Azzarello, a 37-year-old man from Florida, set himself on fire, causing chaos and confusion among bystanders. It does not appear the incident has anything to do with Trump's trial, which continued on without interruption. Trump's hush money case marks the first criminal trial of a sitting or former U.S. president.
But at 1:30 this afternoon, right here in Collect Pond Park, which is directly opposite of a New York County Criminal Court at 100 Center Street, where the trial of former President Trump is currently taking place, we observe a male walk into the park. He walks into the center of the park. When he's in the park, he starts shuffling around his clothes. He opens up a book bag. From the book bag, he takes numerous pieces of papers, pamphlets out. He throws the pamphlets throughout the park, and then he pulls out a canister and pours some kind of liquid on himself, a liquid we believe is an accelerant, and he lights himself on fire.
Victim is in critical condition but is alive and intubated at Cornell Burn Center at this time. There were three NYPD officers and one court officer, so 4 officers who had minor injuries from their exposure to the fire. They are all fine, they are stable, and they are green tags, which is minor at this time.
We're very concerned. This gentleman did not breach the security protocols. The park was open to the public. But of course, we're going to look at everything, and with the magnitude of what's going on around right here, we'll reassess our security with our federal.
It is exactly 20 minutes past the top of the hour, and we are taking our very first commercial break right here on Instant Television. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after the break.
We asked Kenyan women to tell us what they look for in a lotion.
Warembo, ni nini muhimu kwenu mnaponunua body lotions?
Smoothness, scent, glow.
Leo tunaweka kwenye jaribio body lotion ya bei ghali na ya bei nafuu.
Ungenunua gani?
Inai-transform dry skin kuwa deeply nourished na kui-smoothen. Na fragrance nayo, wacha tu. Why pay more? Nunua nice and lovely body lotion. Ni bora zaidi kwa bei nafuu.
It's just nicer and lovelier. Chagua Kenya's #1 body lotion.
Welcome back. Let's continue. Now, colleges and universities are often seen as microcosms of society where individuals come together to learn, grow, and navigate the complexities of life. But what happens when the sense of accountability, the glue that binds this community together, starts to weaken? In our special feature story segment today, we delve into the profound impact of accountability within the confines of a university community. Take a look. And now we are taking another short break right here on the Weekly Informer. Plenty more to follow after the break, including sporting news.
Good morning.
Dad, vitamin B2 ni nini?
Vitamin B2 zinapatikana kwa Ilara Fresh Milk. Na unahitaji hizo vitamins kila siku kupata energy, yani mawowo.
Mawowo ya kucheza, mawowo ya kuruka, mawowo ya kuswing, mawowo ya kudunk.
Mawowo. Ilara Fresh Milk, jijaze mawowo.
Welcome back. Let's get sporty. 10-man Gor Mahia beat AFC Leopards 1-0 to extend Mashemeji Derby dominance in an FKF Premier League clash held at the Nyayo National Stadium on Sunday afternoon.
Wa pili ukaanguka kwenye mguu wake Austin Odhiambo. Tekniki nzuri lakini tayari alikuwa amesalimu amri Levis Opio Jr. Goma ile wachezaji wake jaribu contain pressure. Najua kuwa hapa sipopanga na Vincent Mahiga anauinua kumtafuta Victor Mune Ochame anapiga nyuma kwenda chini. Peter Waweru Kamaku anatoa kadi, ameingia kwenye mfuko wake. Kitakachodiri ni nini? Inakwenda kadi kwa Kevin Omondi ama ni Victor Mune Ochame wa kuweza kujitupa au simulation.
And finally, the top 4 finishers of the Beijing half marathon have been stripped of their medals after an investigation found 3 African runners deliberately slowed down near the finish line to let a Chinese competitor win. He Jie won the Beijing half marathon held last Sunday in a time of 1 hour, 3 minutes and 44 seconds, a second ahead of Ethiopian Dijin Hailu Bikila and Kenyans Robert Ketal and Willie Mnangat, who tied for second place. And on that note, we wind up the Weekly Informer right here on Instant Television. Thank you very much indeed for the men and women behind the scenes who have made this broadcast a success. I know it's cold, it's getting cold, but stay safe, keep warm, and do have a good night.